So I picked up another batch of records from over Plattsburgh way, and this is 2 of 6 boxes. So I think this is going to have to be a multiple part series. Here is 1 of 3 boxes, and so I figured I'd take folks along with me, as people seem to like figuring out what is in these old batches of records. So I got this from Plattsburgh. It's about I don't know, 15 minutes from the Canadian border, and I noticed that there were a few Canadian pressings at just some of the ones that I looked at. Speaking of which, looks like we're going to start off with some Canadian Decas. It's a Bing Crosby. So let's get started. This lady was nice enough to give me all these records. I think she had picked through them and taken out what she wanted. Didn't want all these 6 boxes in her house, and so I drove over there. It's only an hour drive. It's a nice drive over the bridge to Lake Champlain. So the first one, holy cow, looking just about unplayed, is this Compo Company Limited Les Chines de Montreal, Canada Deca pressing of Bing Crosby singing New San Antonio Rose. This is from album A417, so I will have to figure out which album that goes to. Too bad the folder isn't here. Right underneath that is another Bing Crosby, I'll Be Yours. Well, I'm sensing this may be a pattern here. So another Canadian Deca. Canadian Deca Bing with the blue of the night meets the gold of the day. Bing Crosby, not from an album. Bing Crosby's theme song. Okay, I did not know that Bing Crosby had a theme song. I would have thought it was White Christmas. Bing Crosby, Among My Souvenirs. I'm guessing this is all You Are My Sunshine. This is from that same album, 417. So I'll go through and I'll put these together. Hey, we've got an American pressing on the Atchison, Topeka, and the Santa Fe. I've got a few copies of that one. We'll see which one's better. Whistling in the Wildwood, Bing Crosby. Remember Me, Bing Crosby. Pass That Peace Pipe. Walking the Floor Over You. Night and Day. And do we have one more? Yes, we do. Aren't You Glad You're You? Bing Crosby. Okay, so that right there, minus that one American pressing, is an entire album of Canadian Bing Deca records. I wonder if this one that's right next to it is similar. Bing Crosby and the Calico Kids. A Gal in Calico. Yep. So far we're on a path here. To Ralu Ra. More Bing Crosby Deca. Things we did last summer. Siboney. Yep. And the American pressing of Siboney was Xavier Cugat. I'm guessing a trend here. South America, take it away. Bing Crosby and the Andrews Sisters. Canadian. I can't begin to tell you. Well, I think this person was a fan of Bing Crosby. Little dream I got nowhere. Sioux City Sue. It's been a long time. Oh, great song. They use it in the Marvel movies for Captain Marvel. Of course, the Harry James version is the one that they use, but I like Bing's version as well. Prove it by the things you do. And there's a couple loose ones back here. I don't like these folders. They're usually not very good on records. Again, these all are just the shiniest grooves. Faraway Places and an American Bing Crosby. Good, good, good. The American ones look a bit rougher than the Canadian ones. All right. Well, will the trend continue? Here's a 12-inch binder. A puffy 12-inch binder. The magnificent Magnavox television radio phonograph. That's cool. Not seen a binder like this as made in the USA. This is full of 10-inch records. Actually, now that I'm on the subject, I wonder what these binders are. These are, so I have to turn this sideways because of the way the tripod is. RCA Victor Company Limited, Montreal, Canada. Well, I think it's fitting to keep a bunch of Bing Crosby Decas in Canadian Decas in a Canadian binder. All right, inside this Magnavox binder, we have Victor Red Seals, usually not so exciting. Marian Anderson. This is part of a series, or part of an album. This will go. I see a Decca. Andrew Sisters, American Rum and Coca-Cola. Rum and Coke. All right, well. Andrew Sisters. Drinking rum and Coke. Well, that's okay. I have to give a shout out to one of my new favorites here. This is Shed Brewery, the Hazy IPA. Not a bad beer. Cheers, happy Sunday. Canadian Decca, Andrew Sisters, Tooly Dooley. Yeah, I see some more. Boy, this is almost exclusively Canadian Decas. Andrew Sisters, You Call Every Day Darling. I don't think I've ever seen so many. I mean, I myself live rather close to Canada. This one is destroyed. If you can see that crack in there. It's an RCA Victor. It is Louis Armstrong and his orchestra. You don't learn that in school. That is too bad. This is totally broken in half. It's only held together by the label right there. One that I actually wouldn't mind putting on right now. See a red Columbia. Well, it's a Canadian Columbia. Buttons and Bows, Gene Autry, and Can't Shake the Sands of Texas from My Shoes. You could tell it's Canadian. You have to, I don't know if this camera can pick it up, but it says Canadian pressing by Spartan at London, Canada. Labels look just a little different than the American red label Columbias. I see a Canadian Victor. Ernie Benedict. Ace Polka. I'm not into polka. Ernie Benedict and his Polkateers. RCA Victor Company Limited, Montreal, Canada. Not into polka, but you know, it's always cool when you see a label that you don't often see. That would be one of them. Oh, I see another Canadian RCA pressing back there. Red Wine Polka. I wonder if this must be part of a set. Nope. So they're just individual records. Red Wine Polka. There's another Canadian Decca back there. Oh, the Boston Caledonian Pipe Band. All right, well, that's pretty cool. Of course, I play in a band with some bagpipers. Athol Highlanders, March to Luck, Katrine, Devil in the Kitchen, and Miss McLeod's Reel. That one is actually cool. I'm going to spin that one a little bit later. Canadian pressing of a Boston pipe band. I might actually put that one up on YouTube at some point. Boston Pops Orchestra doing Chicken Reel. And Fiddle Faddle, Leroy Anderson tune. I actually have Leroy Anderson in Sleigh Ride on red RCA, and that's probably the one red RCA Victor I would actually keep and hang on to. The British Grenadiers, the band of the HM Canadian Grenadier Guards, conducted by Captain J.J. Gagne. Regimental March of the Canadian Grenadier Guards. That's pretty cool. Scottish March Medley. Bonnie Dundee, Road to the Isles, Highland Laddie. Well, I'll have to figure out if this is a pipe band or not. Again, beautiful, beautiful shape that record is. And it looks like the last one, Helen Carroll and the Satisfiers. Ooh, Old Buttermilk Sky. Let's Sail to Dreamland. All right, usually I'm not very excited about 12-inch records, so it's a nice surprise that this was entirely full of 10-inch records. All right, I'm going to move this a little bit closer. Bear with. There we go. All right, there's another, well, there's a 10-inch album. There's a couple of loose Hi-Fi Vienna. All right, well, obviously these aren't, I mean, they're in decent shape if someone needs one for a set, but I can't imagine there's too many people looking for those. This one feels rather light. Looks like there's only 3 records in this one. Oh, another Canadian. Square Dance. And this is part of an album. This is disc 1, 3, 5. This is disc 3 of the set. Woodhull's Old Time Masters. Square Dance's Canadian label. Looks like underneath there's another one. Let's see if it's first or second. It is the 4th, maybe the last record in that set. I won't pull that out. No, I'm not really into Square Dance records. I don't think there's many people who are. We'll find out. Beltona label. This is made in the UK. The Ate Some Reel. Tim Wright and his band. The High Road to Linton. The Wind That Shakes the Barley. Mason's Apron. Oh, this is cool stuff. Devil Among the Tailors. Well, 12-inch record. That's cool. Ate Some Reel Part 2. The drummer of The Wind That Shakes the Barley. The Mason's Apron. The drummer of the High Road to Linton. Ah, well, you know what? My own band plays that tune. That'll be a fun one to listen to. And let's see. Oh, this is the last one in this box. There's 2 more boxes after this. This looks the same color and design, so this must be another RCA Victor. Yeah, Montreal. All right. Well, we have the Boston Pops, Jealousy Tango. I'm not going to pull that one out. Enrico Caruso, L'Elixir d'Amor, Act 2. Electrically recorded Enrico Caruso. That might be kind of cool to play. I don't really have a player that would, I mean, other than, you know, my Magnavox or something. Al Goodman and his orchestra. That's a Canadian RCA. Tommy's Wartime Memories by Jack Hilton and his orchestra, recorded in England. It's interesting. I do not know what that is. I'll have to give that one a look. Rhapsody in Blue by Jack Herbie and Paul Herbie on the piano. Fritz Kreisler, another Canadian red 12-inch. London Philharmonic, a lot of red label Canadian stuff. Oh, that has a 33 LP in there. Waldorf Music Hall, Moments to Remember, not that exciting. Victor Herbert Suite, more LPs, not that exciting. Honky Tonk Piano, Ace O'Donnell, tops, another 33 1/3. I don't know why people got rid of their original covers for those. Nutcracker Suite. Well, I'll have to add this one to the Christmas collection. Cool. All right, well, at least there's one. And whatever this is, it's another LP, the Sidewinders. Barbershop World. Oh boy. That's the last thing anybody needs. All right, so that is box number 1. I had a whole bunch of Bing Crosby Canadian Decas, and then a whole bunch of RCA Red Seal Canadians. All right, behind me now I have a box that has 1, 2, 3, 4 of these. This one is already labeled Larry Clinton to Eddie Elkins. Oh, I'll have to get that off later. I'm not going to want that on there, but I also don't want to destroy this. I wonder what the pink sticker is for. All right, let's see what we have. More Decca Canadians. Larry Clinton and his orchestra. Be cool if it was George Clinton. Rosemary Clooney. Is that a Canadian? No, it's USA. Perry Como on a Canadian RCA. Cuban Orchestra, Blue Rumba on a Continental. I have a few Continentals. Electric Process International. Chiquita Banana over on this side. If I had a nickel for every Xavier Cugat record and every copy I had of Brazil, Xavier Cugat, You Forgot Your Guitar, Vic Damone. Now let's see. Doris Day, Buddy Clark, Confess. That's a Canadian red label right there. Town Tavern Polka, Walter Domkowski and his orchestra. More Canadian RCA. Another Canadian Decca. Jimmy Dorsey and his orchestra, Doing What Comes Naturally. From Annie Get Your Gun. RCA Canadian, Any Old Time, Tommy Dorsey and his orchestra. Billy Usher vocals. And Eddie Elkins Orchestra, Who Cares? Foxtrot. And these look just like the American and the Canadian ones. You can't tell, they usually have all the same stuff on them. Okay, well, hey, that's the first Columbia to come out of that batch. The first old Columbia to come out of that batch. Here's another one. This says Charlie Koontz and Johnny Mercer, the Pied Pipers. Oh, I am not holding up any hopes for this. All right, piano solos. Charlie Koontz. It looks like it's part of a, it doesn't have an album number on it, but 10404, 10406, all piano solos. 10405. Piano solos. I'll have to look that up and see how best to get that in the hands of someone who will like it. Canadian RCA Vector Red, Jeanette MacDonald, Nelson Eddy. Sweetheart Waltz. I think a lot of these will be going to the Goodwill store. Picnic Reels, Speed the Plow, J.L. McDonald, violin, piano. All right, that might be some, I don't know, good old traditional fiddling stuff. I don't know if it's necessarily Canadian. I mean, it's a Canadian pressing, but I don't know if J.L. McDonald is a Canadian artist. Hit record, The Hummingbird, Foxtrot by the Marshalls and their orchestra. That's a much older hit record than I've seen. And Kalamazoo on this side. Freddie Martin and his orchestra. Can't get out of this mood. John McCormick. Bless you, John McCormick. John McCormick. The Story with a Fringe on top. James Milton. Canadian Red Seal Victor. Jingle Bells by Johnny Mercer and the Pied Piper. Well, that is fitting because it's December. Santa Claus is coming to town. That will go in my Christmas 78 collection. All right. And here, this one is listed. Alan Jones to Wayne King. All this Canadian stuff, I would love to find some Star Records, Quebecois stuff. But looking at what we have in here, I don't think that's going to happen. Alan Jones, Donkey Serenade, Bell Record, Billy Jones. Ain't we got fun? Puck up and whistle till the clouds roll by. This looks like one of the older ones out of any of these batches. Spike Jones and his City Slickers. Spike Jones and his City Slickers. Serenade to a Jerk. I should play that for some people at work. Oh, back to some Canadian Decas. Louis Jordan and his Timpani 5. Beware. And on this side, we have Don't Let the Sun Catch You Crying. All right. Over here, Dana Records. Yoo-Hoo Polka. That'll go. Oh, a Harmony record. Irving Kaufman. Don't Be Afraid to Come Home. I love those old harmonies. That's an American pressing. I'm Sitting on Top of the World. Oh, cool. Swing and Sway with Sammy K. Don't Fence Me In. Something Old, Something New. Mark Kenny and his Western Gentleman. Over here, Henry King and his orchestra on a Canadian Decca, Babyface. In the backside, I fell all over myself. And over here, Wayne King and his orchestra, part of an album, The Waltz You Saved for Me. Waltz. I'm forever blowing bubbles. All right, well, this is a lot of heavy stuff. Probably won't get listened to very much. All right, and what's in this one? Ella Fitzgerald to Bill Johnson. Hey, things are starting to look up. Ella Fitzgerald with the Song Spinners, My Happiness. Let's hope there's more than one. And nope. Right on to Judy Garland, American Pressing. Wish that I'd Been Satisfied with Mary, the Harmony Brothers. I actually think I have that one. Smile a little bit. Dick Hames and the Ken Darby Singers, Back Home Again in Indiana. Dick Hames, It's a Grand Night for Singing. Why couldn't there have been two Ellas? Why two Dick Hames? Hildegard, Percy Faith, and Orchestra. There's No Holding Me. Hey, all right. Ink Spots and Ella Fitzgerald. I probably have that one. American Pressing. Actually, be cooler to have more of the Canadian ones of these Ella Fitzgerald records. International Novelty Orchestra. This is the Canadian version of the Scroll label. It's got the VE in a circle up in the runouts, but also on the label itself. This is 19970, so this is an earlier electrical recording. International Novelty Orchestra. Doing Always and Pretty Little Baby. Well, cool. I have a place for that one. Some more Victor Red Label. Some more Victor Red Label. piano. Dick James, Nature Boy. Not one of my favorite songs ever. Let's see, Galway Bay, Bill Johnson. That's a Canadian. And A Tree in the Meadow. Let's see. Here's a 10-inch LP. I really like 10-inch LPs. I have a lot of players that aren't really decent for modern LPs. They need, sort of wider groove monos. This one is in beautiful shape on the outside, but I'm guessing with the subject matter, I am not going to give this one much of a play. So, distributed by Musimart of Canada, so it is a Canadian pressing. I'll look it up, see if anyone is interested. Otherwise, this will go to a thrift shop as well. And I'm now left with this weird folder. I don't even know what this thing is. But I guess this is how this person kept their record collection together. Well, I wonder what we're in for. My goodness, if this whole thing is full of Bing Crosby, I don't even know what I'm going to do. We'll find out. I guess I'm just going to pull these out and set them down. Well, that's definitely not Bing Crosby, so things are looking up. I'll actually put these in the order that they were in. In two places, this folder says Bing Crosby. That is hilarious. All right. Waiting to welcome Mehame. Ali Finley, Scottish comedian. Scottish Clan Records. Ha. Well, that's interesting. I got some folks who may be interested in hearing that one. And it's not the only one. Let Scotland Flourish. All right. My Wild Irish Rose. Just a Cottage Small. Perfect brown wax. It's shellac, I know. Jimmy Flynn. Cool. I love these. I mean, I don't, even just to put them all together and look at them, hang them up on the wall. We've got some more Dick Hames, because, we needed more Dick Hames. It had to be you. I find his voice to be a little too smooth. There's not a lot of, I don't know. He's not one of my favorites, but I also haven't heard that version before, so I'll give it a listen. Arthur Garvey, Too Fat Polka. No thanks. Even a Canadian version. Another Beltona, but a 10-inch Beltona. The Lassam Courtin New. Made in the UK. Looks to be unplayed. The Dowager Duchess. Interesting. I have a lot of friends who are into folk music and the origins of it, so that's pretty cool. Varsity Record. This is a 10-inch LP with a Victor Records Montreal, Canada sleeve. So I will pair this up with one of the records that actually goes with. It's not this. Decca, Bobby Helms. If this were Bobby Helms doing Jingle Bell Rock, I would lose my mind. It's cool anyway. My Special Angel, Bobby Helms. with the Anita Care Singers. And this is a Canadian Decca. I do not have Bobby Helms in my Christmas collection. Phyllis Hyman's Drei Rosen. Decca, the ink spots. I don't care what you say. I love me some ink spots. Address unknown. I especially love ink spots with Ella Fitzgerald. Ink spots. Someone's rocking my dreamboat. That's the B-side. Decca. This is actually a Canadian Decca sleeve with a Canadian Decca in it. Nothing for the ink spots. Too bad it has that pen all over it. Ink spots. Do you feel that way too? Information, please. All right. Ink spots. The Whispering Grass. All of them with their actual covers. Maybe by the ink spots. I'm going to have to build a whole new shelf system just for my Canadian Deccas if I end up keeping all these. Ink spots. It's all over but the crying. I just wanted to pull this out. I mean, have you ever... Well, I mean, yes, you have. If you're watching this video, you have. But the beauty of a record that looks like it was pressed yesterday when it's in actuality 80 years old. Oh, I can't wait to match these all up with their actual sleeves. The ink spots. This one does not have a cover, so you can see this one's got some storage wear on it. The Gypsy. This one will need a little cleaning. The ink spots. Do I worry? Not about taking care of records if you don't keep them in a sleeve. Decca, Knock Need Sal, and If I Didn't Care. I think I'm going to have a rather large collection of Canadian Deccas after this. Who do you know in heaven? With no question mark at the end. That made you the angel you are. Oh, see? That's why I missed that. You're breaking my heart. The ink spots. Okay, so this one lied when it said Bing Crosby. It meant the ink spots. And I'm cool with that. I have an entire ink spots section. It'd be interesting to see how many of these I have on American pressings. Thoughtless, and on the A side, I'd climb the highest mountain. Ink spots. Don't believe everything you dream. And a lovely way to spend an evening. All right, so someone really liked Bing Crosby and the ink spots. They weren't big fans of Ella Fitzgerald, I guess. Knock Need Sal. If I Didn't Care. This is a really wrecked London record sleeve. I'm going to turn off the teardrops, ink spots, and the Sweetest Dream. Yeah, that one's rough. Ink spots. I get the blues when it rains. That is a great record. Either it's love or it isn't. Bill Kenny of the ink spots. Ooh, someone had a falling out. Directed by Cy Oliver. If I Forget You, Please Mr. Sun. On a Canadian Bluebird. I don't think I have any Canadian Bluebirds to put with this, but maybe when I look through all these, there'll be one somewhere. Bill Kenny of the Ink Spots. Keep on the sunny side of life, and these things shall pass. Ink Spots and Ella Fitzgerald. I'm making believe into each life some rain must fall. Love this record. I actually have a video of my my VV55 playing this outside. Someone posted on the video, you know, it doesn't actually mean rain. Yeah, thanks, Captain Obvious. Well, here's that Canadian Bluebird I was looking for. Fats Waller and his rhythm. Swing out to victory by the light of the silvery moon. You know what I'm going to do? Yes, you do. I'm going back for that Bluebird. And I'm putting things right. Which is a shame because that Bill Kenny record is in pristine shape. But now, Fats is back with his label. Fats Domino, Blueberry Hill, Canadian pressing on Imperial. And look at the shape of that. Huh. I have one or many of those. Not Canadian and not in that sort of shape. Well, I gotta say, I'm having more fun looking through the loose records than I did the ones that were in the binder. Fats Domino, what's the reason I'm not pleasing you? And Blue Monday. Is that a crack or a scratch? That's a scratch. All right. Another Imperial. This is a later Victor, 2600. Skinny Ennis and his orchestra. Vocal refrain by Skinny Ennis. Wishing. That's the B-side. Hooray for Spinach. From the film Naughty But Nice. I am not familiar with the artist or anything about that. But it's a Canadian Victor. I'll have to give that a spin. Yeah, Brunswick. This is the first one I've seen. What does that say? Eddie Dunstedter, Just a Memory. Can I see it better on this side? Dancing Tambourine, Eddie Dunstedter. I was just at a thrift store and I found a whole, one of those Bing Crosby sets when Bing Crosby went to Decca and Brunswick wanted to capitalize off his popularity, made a bunch of sides, and I actually found one fully complete. The records looked unplayed. I'll have to pull that out later. Decca, You've Got Me Wondering, The Dream Weavers. That's the B-side, A-side. It's Almost Tomorrow. So there's some fairly modern 10-inch records in this batch mixed in. All right, I don't think there was a single Bing Crosby in that whole batch, even though this in two places said Bing Crosby. That brings us to this whole batch of loose records. So what I'm gonna just go out on a limb and say that the Bing Crosby records are in here because they must be somewhere. Oh, I see some Capitol records in here. I'm gonna put these in the order that they're in the box. Woo! I mean, this is a lot. I thought maybe I could do 3 boxes in one video. Perhaps I should have just stuck with 2 and done this in 3 parts. Maybe I'll do that.